When 7:30 first met Max Gordon Hall in early January, he was arriving back from an overseas holiday to discover his Batlow home had been burned to the ground.
It's going to be stupid, but it's pride and joy. Beautiful ride on Mars.
It's now 3 months on and his situation hasn't improved all that much.
We're still waiting on the clean-up. They've done the paperwork. Sort of annoying, sort of a waste of time because I've already got the builder ready to go.
He hasn't been able to start rebuilding as the clean-up is still yet to begin.
It's just been waiting for this government clean-up. Fortunately, they said they'll do it, but with this whole thing going on, there's now a little bit of a delay. They reckon this week they'll get it cleaned up. But other than that, I've just got rubble sitting on the ground.
Currently about 5:30 in the afternoon.
Max works as a paramedic in Batlow. Like many frontline emergency service workers, he's waiting for COVID-19 to hit.
There's sort of a little bit of normality in this crazy time in the world.
We're getting daily updates of the area, if there's any cases within a certain area and what to expect. PPE is getting shipped around. We're just bracing to see if this does hit like what has happened in other parts of the world. But locally, day by day and just wait and see what happens.
Batlow, hit so hard by the fires, is now struggling to stay afloat through this pandemic.
I met a couple the other day. They were in the local showgrounds here, just living basically in a caravan that was donated to them. And now these showgrounds and the caravan parks have closed. They've had to find some sort of emergency accommodation just to put a roof over their head. So I'm lucky myself, I've got a rental, but there's quite a few people out there in the town and around that just don't have anywhere to go.
We've got communities that are being compounded by disasters, emergencies, disruptions for quite a long period of time now, and there's no doubt that those communities are hurting, whether it's the experience of one of those events or multiple of those events.
New South Wales Rural Fire Service Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons is moving into a new role as the state's Resilience Commissioner. He's promised to make sure bushfire victims aren't forgotten during this current pandemic crisis.
So the focus that I've got, that I'll be starting in May, is to make sure that we are working through the recovery effort, those that have been affected by the drought, those that have been heavily impacted by the bushfires, and of course now the recovery coming out of the COVID, whenever that is and however that is, over the coming months ahead. So absolutely, there's a significant focus on ensuring people are not forgotten from whatever disaster it is, and particularly the compounding effects of disasters over recent months.
7:30 met Dave Ballinger in his East Gippsland cafe and tackle shop in February.
There you go, enjoy.
Cool, thank you very much.
At the time, his business was struggling to make ends meet after the fires all but stopped tourism in the area.
Drought, bushfires, and now global pandemic. We closed up the shop a couple of weeks ago due to people not doing the right thing with their distancing and the whole attitude, actually. So we decided to close.
Coronavirus means things have gone from bad to worse.
Spent the last few days shutting down fridges and freezers and throwing stuff out, milk and cakes and all that type of thing. Got a whole shop full of fishing gear and I can't even go down for a fish at present.
Dave's business wasn't eligible for any income support after the fires. He's looking into what small business support he might be able to apply for now.
I mean, we're getting a bit sick of being belted around, but this country we live in is just, it's just the way it is. You just got to deal with it. But this global issue, that's another issue entirely.
The National Bushfire Recovery Agency is doing everything we can to make sure they're not forgotten. I'm talking to government regularly, and while obviously they're very focused, and the Prime Minister is rightly very focused on COVID-19, he's taken a direct and continued interest in bushfire recovery.
Andrew Colvin says his bushfire recovery agency has rolled out $500 million to fire-affected communities and businesses. Another $1.5 billion is expected to be spent over the next 2 years.
Of course, the challenge is trying to distinguish between what's a coronavirus impact and what's a business impact from the fires. But the message from government is if you're eligible for both, apply for both. We are making sure that we are very flexible and we default to making sure that money gets into the pockets of, for instances, businesses in this case.
There's a fence I've been rebuilding.
Back in Batlow, Max Gordon-Hall says he's grateful for the government money and donations that have been flowing into the town.
The Red Cross, St Vinny's, St Vincent de Paul, those sorts of charities have made it. The government grants have made it through. Also, out of goodwill, a lady at Canberra had made contact with me and just out of the goodness of her heart donated a ride-on mower. She messaged me through Facebook and just said she wanted to donate a ride-on mower that she had sitting around, and by God, it's a good mower. A little bit of sunshine through the gloomy days.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.